Greetings, YouTube. There's a link I'm going to have alongside this video that talks about cynicism and how that it is an ultimately an empty and a feudalistic position to take. It's a cop out essentially because it doesn't actually deal with things. It's just a nice little offshoot and means that you don't have to worry about things because you're a cynic. You don't have to invest yourself in things because you've you know given in to the dark side, so to speak, to cynicism. And I'm a deeply cynical man, but I didn't start there. When I was a teen, I lived in a bubble of innocence. Now, I realized I was undiagnosed in almost every way, shape, and form. Uh, and being autistic, I looked at the world through very different eyes than neurotypical folks. But I thought that adults would actually be adults. Yes, I know that was stupid of me to think that that's because someone graduated high school or college, they were going to start acting like an adult. But I really did honestly think that at one point in my life. There was a time when I thought that it made no sense that people didn't have health care, that we would just let them die. When I finally came to realize that was reality, I was stunned that we would just let people die. And then to find out that there was a time I believed that politicians should just do their jobs. And they didn't do their jobs. They very much took care of themselves, got reelected, generated a lot of stuff for themselves and for a few of their cronies, and then they just moved on into like lobbying jobs. That was a real deal breaker for me. I suddenly realized that that's when I began to become cynical. And the cynicism just grew over time. It wasn't something I decided about. I earned it. Every single stroke of the cynicism that I possess now was something that I experienced. So I don't see it as a cop-out. I see it as a very logical extension of seeing the world around me for what it is. And yet, there's part of me, up until quite recently, that still had hope. And I'm having a hard time getting back to that hope. As I said to a friend of mine recently, at the moment, there is no hope in this house because I'm a student of history and I know how dark it's going to get. And I know how much damage is going to be done. And I know how long it's going to last. Um, and it's going to get ugly. And quite likely over the scope of the entire planet, tens of billions of people are going to die because of the current and near future events that are about to happen. And there's not a damn thing I can do about it. But my cynicism is not a goddamn cop-out. My cynicism was earned. My cynicism was the death of my naivete, of my innocence, when I finally saw things for what they were. And I began to read history and realize how they always had been. So yes, I'm a cynic. But until recently, it didn't stop me from having hope. And I'm really going to try to get back to that place.